In Module 1, Lesson 13, we talked about dividing decimals by whole numbers using a strategy of looking for a friendly number or a friendly decomposition of our decimal. So what exactly are friendly decompositions? A friendly designation means that it is a number that is easier to work with. So when you're using decimals, sometimes they can be very overwhelming, and we need to look for numbers that we are really familiar with in working with division. A decomposition is a renaming of a decimal in different unit forms. For example, let's take a look at 2.31. The first way that I can decompose this number is just saying how many units are in each place value, which is 2 ones, 3 tenths, and 1/100th. Next, I can kind of go to the next one and say, okay, I'm going to not do my ones, and I'm just going to say tenths and hundredths. So you look for, okay, I'm in my tenths and all the numbers before that, which is 23 tenths, and then I have left 1/100th. The last one is, okay, I've done my ones, I've done tenths. The last single designation I have left is that hundredths place. And so you ask yourself, how many hundredths do I have altogether, which is my whole number, 231 hundredths. All of these decompositions still equal 2.31, but they're just different ways of looking at it. And using these decompositions, we'll be able to find some friendly numbers to start dividing with. So let's take a look at this problem. 0.24 divided by 4 equals blank. And we're looking for a friendly number that is easily divided into 4 groups. I originally see 4, but that leaves a 2, and I can't easily divide 2 into 4 groups. But if I look, I see 24, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, 24 is an easy number to divide, so I just need to rename 24 to 24 hundredths. So I've renamed to 24 hundredths. I still have my divide by 4, so that's the other part of my equation here. And now I'm just going to look at my friendly numbers, my 24 and 4, and I'm going to kind of ignore this unit name right now. So I have 24 divided by 4, which would give me 6. But then now this is where my unit name comes in. So it wouldn't be 6, it would be 6 hundredths. Then I would write that 6 hundredths in standard form. So I have my decimal. Hundredths is 2 place values after my decimal. Then I fill in my 6, and my empty space gets a 0. So my answer would be 0.06, or 6 hundredths. So what conjecture can we make by using and looking at this example? And we came up with the conjecture that looking for friendly numbers and decompositions will help us divide our decimals. So let's take a look at another example here and use our conjecture of looking for friendly numbers to divide decimals by whole numbers. So we have 1.05, or 1 500ths, divided by 5. So first I want to take a look at my decimal and break it down into all of its compositions, or decompositions. The first one, I would just take a look at each individual unit. So I'd have 1/1, 0 tenths, and 5 hundredths. Next, I would want to kind of take a look and leave out the ones and go to the tenths. So I would have 10 tenths and 5 hundredths. And finally, I would look at my whole number to the hundredth spot, and that would be 105 hundredths. Now I take a look at these 3 decompositions and I ask myself, which one is the easiest to divide by 5? I have 1, 0, and 5. This 5 is pretty easy, but this 1 over here would be pretty difficult, and I want something easy. Here I have 10 and 5. Oh, that's really easy because 10 I can easily divide by 5, and 5 I can easily divide by 5. So that's looking like the best one so far. 105, I could do that, but it might take a little bit longer than this one. So my winner, and the one that I'm going to use, is this 10 tenths and 5 hundredths. So what I'll do is I'll take the 10 tenths and divide that by 5, and the 5 hundredths and divide that by 5. So I have my 10 divided by 5. Remember, I'm forgetting about this unit name for right now. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, but it's not just 2, it's 2 tenths, which would, in standard form, be 0.2, because tenths is the first place value after the decimal. Now let's take a look at this. I have 5 divided by 5, and I'm leaving out this hundredths for right now. I'll add it in later. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. But it's not 1, it's 1 hundredth. So I'm going to just show as an HTHS for right now, since it's a long word. Now I want to put that in standard form, but I'm going to make sure I line up my decimals because I actually want to add these two together to get my full answer. So 1 hundredth I know is 2 place values after my decimal. So my 1 would go here, and then I'd fill in my blank with a 0. And I like to make my equations equal, so I notice that there's nothing in the hundredths here, so I'm going to put that 0. And now I solve. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 2 plus 0 is 2. And I drop down my decimal. So my answer is 0.21, or 21 hundredths. So 1.05 divided by 5 is 0.21. Now let's take a look at our homework. This homework is giving you a division problem, but asking you to think about it in a different way, almost in a multiplication way. So they're asking you 5 groups of blank thousandths is 0.45 or 45 thousandths. We still use that conjecture of looking for those friendly numbers. Here I see 5 can go into 5, but 5 is, hard to go into 4. So let's look at 45 as a whole. 5 can go into 45, and that's a way easier number to work with. So we rename it. The last lowest place value here is thousandths, so we would rename 45 to 45 thousandths. Then we would still be dividing by 5. So we would ask ourselves, okay, let's take a look at that 45 divided by 5. And we know that that would equal 9. But it's not 9, it is 9 thousandths, which I'll just represent with a TH for now. And this gives me that first answer up here. How many groups of thousandths is in 0.45? And there are 9 thousandths in 5 groups of 9 thousandths. Now to get my answer over here, I convert 9 thousandths to standard form. So I know that after my decimal there are 3 place values, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Then I fill in my number, fill my empty spaces with a 0, and my answer would be 0.009. Let's take a look at 2A. Now, sometimes the homeworks are trying to help you out, but it ends up making a problem look really confusing. So I'm going to kind of try to clear up some confusion here. They're basically asking you to do the same thing we did up here, but break it down into parts. So they're saying, take a look at 9 and 36 hundredths, and they want you to break it up into ones. They're telling you what they want you to break it up into. So 1, so they're asking, how many ones do you have? We have 9. And they're saying, okay, now we need more because we have some leftover numbers there that we didn't account for, so that's that addition that comes into play when we add those two quotients together. And so they're saying, okay, now how many hundredths do we have altogether? So they skip tenths. They're telling you we don't want tenths, we want hundredths. And so you look at how many is left over after you've taken that 9 out, and it's 36 hundredths. Now they're asking you to do two different division problems here. They're asking you to divide 9 ones by 3, and they're asking you to divide 36 hundredths by 3. And each of those answers is going to go in its respective spot. So 9 divided by 3 would be 3 ones. And then 36 divided by 3 would be 12 hundredths. And then the last part is they're asking you to write it in a standard algorithm. So you'll take these numbers, 3 ones, and you're going to add it to your 12 hundredths. And remember, you want to line up your decimals. So we have 0, hundredths is 2 columns over, and then I fill in my 12. And I like to just even up my addition problems. So I like to put my zeros here if they're missing any place values, and then we add them up. So 0 plus 2 is 2, 0 plus 1 is 1. You drop your decimal down, and then 3 plus 0 is 3. So your answer would be 3 and 12 hundredths, or 3.12.